What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and we are back with another top 5 list. This time, the top 5 Bronze Age books that I'd buy right now for under 500 bucks. But before we get started in the video, like always, I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me if you're not a current subscriber of the channel. And of course, smash that like button for me if you like the videos that I've been putting out there. It really helps out the channel. It helps people out there get to see my videos that they haven't seen before. But we're here for a top 5, so let's start at number 5. At number 5 is a copy of Marvel Spotlight number 32, the first appearance of Jessica Drew and the Spider-Woman. All things Spider are incredibly hot right now with No Way Home coming hopefully to the MCU in December. This is no exception. I've been hearing that we're going to get a Jessica Drew appearance in one of these Sonyverse movies. That is not confirmed, but either way, this book can still be had for pretty cheap at high grade. A 9.0 recently sold back in June for $480, and I still think this book is worth picking up for that amount in high grade. For $500 is still a lot of money, and this book is going under the radar in spec value for a character that may show up sooner rather than later. At number 4 this week is a copy of Hero for Hire number 1, and literally as I am filming this video, Marvel Comics has announced that Luke Cage will return in his own series in the comics. Now, I do believe also that we will see Luke Cage show up at some point in the MCU or Disney Plus, and maybe Marvel Comics is starting to get people aware of Luke Cage. Maybe that's why they're re-releasing his comic series. Who knows? But either way, this book can be had for a CGC 6.0. Last sale was in June for $382, which to me I still think is really underpriced for a cool character. This book has kind of gotten blown down because of that old Netflix series, but it is a pretty cool window cover Bronze Age book. I still think it's worth picking up for cheap, $382 for a nice fine copy. It is hard to find this book in a nice high grade because of the black cover, but like I said, we don't know if he's going to show up soon, but eventually down the line, I do think he'll show up. These are, are pretty major characters in the Marvel universe. They're going to bring him back in the comics. Why not also bring him back on a Disney Plus series? That's what I'm specking on, guys. At number 3 this week is a copy of Iron Fist 14, one of my favorites, the first appearance of Sabretooth. I've been talking about this book for over 6 months now, that it is an undervalued key, and it's still relatively cheap. A CGC 7.0, almost a very fine copy, sold in July for only $485, and this book is picking up steam, so I'd pick this one up quick if you can. I personally myself own 3 copies of this book, one graded as CGC 7.5, and 2 raw copies that I picked up for I think around $500 each, both around the same grade. I'd be snatching this book up every time I saw it if I can still get it for under 500 bucks in very fine condition. Keep that in mind. All these books are Bronze Age. There are a lot of them out there, so if you're going to pick up copies, I'm suggesting very fine or higher. The Luke Cage, like I said, was around 6.0, but still is a black cover, kind of hard to come by, so that's why. At number 2 this week is a copy of another one of my favorites, Amazing Spider-Man number 194, first appearance of Felicia Hardy and the Black Cat. Black Cat is one of my favorite Spider-Man characters there is. I've said this numerous times on my videos. She's a villain, she's a love interest, she plays dual roles, and hopefully she will show up sooner rather than later in the MCU to give kind of Spider-Man another love interest. At least that's what I'm hoping for. There were rumors way back when that she was going to get her own Sony Spider-Man spin-off. I don't know if that's still the case, but either way, CGC 8.5, which is a nice high-grade copy, sold for $443 this month, July. To me, it's still criminally undervalued. So if we can pick up a nice high-grade copy and you're willing to spend a good chunk of money, under 500 bucks, I'm picking it up every time. I own 3 copies of this book. I used to have 4. I have an 8.5, and I have 2 raw copies that are probably mid-grade. I just love the cover, I love the character, and it's just a book that I've been specking on for a while. So what is the number 1 book on my top 5 for under $500? It's probably one of the hottest Bronze Age books out there right now. It is Marvel Spotlight on the Werewolf by Night, number 2, the first appearance of Werewolf by Night. This book is shooting up the charts. We just heard last week, Kevin Smith said that Marvel has plans to use Werewolf by Night character for something. I don't know if it's going to be Disney Plus. I don't know if it's going to be in his own movie, possibly in a Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I have no idea. But he said it. So this book is climbing up the charts as we speak. The CGC 4.5 recently sold back in June for $500. So to me, I know this is a mid-grade book, but it's still worth having. I don't really see a lot of copies out there. I personally have a 6.5 graded copy of this book. So if you can find this book for cheap, while it is going hot right now, if you can find it for a decent price, I'm still think it's worth to pick up. It is my #1 book I'd pick up right now for under $500. If it presents well, it's complete, it looks good, nice orange cover. It's my second favorite after yellow. I'd be buying this book in droves right now because I do think that we're going to get him sometime soon. But like always, guys, in these top 5 videos, I am throwing out honorable mentions. So this is my first honorable mention this week. It is Tomb of Dracula #1, the first appearance of Dracula in Marvel Comics. This is a beautiful Neil Adams cover. If you guys haven't seen it, a beautiful window cover as well. Beautiful red cover. Pick this book up, guys, if you could find it for under $500. Another book that these horror Bronze Age keys are kind of spiking right now. Pick this one up if you can. It's CGC 6.0, sold back in June for $450 only. Again, I don't know what Marvel plans with these characters, but from what I'm hearing, Legion of Monsters, Tomb of Dracula 1, Werewolf by Night, might appear in the Moon Knight series as well. We don't know. Speculation is that Dracula will be the main villain in there. I have no idea, but either way, this book is climbing up the charts. If you can get it for a decent price, I think it's worth picking up. And my last honorable mention this week is a copy of Conan #23, the first cameo appearance of Red Sonja. If you guys haven't heard, Red Sonja is going to be getting her own show on Netflix. I hope that they do her justice. I'd love to see her in some traditional comic attire. I don't know if we're going to get that, but this book has already started to take off. The CGC 8.5 sold this month, July, for $410. So I'd still think that we might get another push on this book. It's not in my top 5, but I do think it's worth mentioning as an honorable mention. So that's it for my top 5 this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like always, if you're not a subscriber, I ask that you subscribe to the channel for me. And like always, thanks for watching my video. I'll talk to you guys soon.